What do you think? I mean, people, obviously speculating about this thing for quite a while now. It has been doing some very uncharacteristic things of a normal comet. So why are people so fascinated by this object particularly? And do you think that it's anything nefarious, anything unexplainable, or just simply an interstellar object that's behaving differently than perhaps a normal, a normal object would? Maybe there's some sort of a pattern with it. I don't know. But what do you make of this? Someone in the chat, Eddie Schwab in our chat, says this thing looks like the Doomsday Machine from Star Trek. Yes, from the 1960s episode called The Doomsday Machine. It looks exactly like that, kind of like this long cylindrical looking object.
Well, from the get-go, when it was discovered back in July of this year by the Atlas telescope system, what it showed was that this was on a path that was like within 5 degrees of the ecliptic, which is very unusual, and that it would pass close by several major planets. And some astronomers did statistical studies and found that this was very highly unusual and suggestive of some kind of intelligent navigation that was behind this to kind of follow that passage. The lack of a tail is really the most kind of like startling aspect of 3I Atlas, that this is no comet. And this is something that you can see in the very latest, the most recent image that just came out today from the European Space Agency that shows, and I think I sent you a GIF file of 3I Atlas from the ExoMars European Space Agency orbiter that shows a kind of dot. But what's interesting is that there's no tail. And that's very important, because if this was a comet right now, as 3I Atlas is approaching the sun, you would see a tail behind it as it's approaching the sun. But there's no tail. So that's suggestive of something other than a comet that has traveled from some interstellar region to here. And so this is where we get into the a lot of speculation. I mean, many different sources are saying that this is an extraterrestrial spacecraft that is here to really kind of like raise the frequencies of the planet or of the solar system. And some say it's associated with white hats that want to kind of like break the disclosure secrecy. So, there's a lot of speculation about it, but still, the fact is that right now it's very close to Mars, relatively speaking, in astronomical terms, and that the images that are being released, I mean, NASA hasn't released anything yet due to the government shutdown, and that's another factor that people are pointing to, that this is more than coincidental, that just as 3I Atlas approaches Mars, gets to its perihelion, NASA goes into shutdown mode. Is that accident? Is that coincidental? And people are also speculating about the generals being summoned to the Pentagon. I mean, were they really there just to be lectured to in terms of how the woke agenda is no longer suitable in the Pentagon or the Department of War? Or were they being secretly given operational briefings talking about a planetary crisis if it becomes clear that 3I Atlas is a spacecraft and is carrying extraterrestrials who are associated not just with Mars in its ancient past, but also with Earth in terms of underwater colonies. And that's something that would be of great concern to Pentagon generals.